معايا يا بنات، شوفوا المنظر، القصة دي جميلة قوي قوي يا بنات. شوفوا كده ازاي هو جاب القص الشعر وقسمه على كام واحدة. وشوفوا بص ازاي قسمه والاخر جاب قص دي مدرج طويل، بس هو جابها من فوق لتحت. فاهمين ازاي؟ يعني احنا بنقسم من تحت وندرج واحنا طالعين، لا هو جابها من فوق. شوفوا المهارة بتاعته، شوفوا اتعلموا. بيجيب من فوق وقص من تحت، ده مدرج على طويل. فاهمين؟ شوف القص وشوف التقسيم بتاعت الشعر. ازاي حاجة جميلة جدا وسهلة جدا جدا، ما هي صعبة خالص. هنشوف كده ونتفرج وقولي ايه رأيكم في الكومنتات. ماشي.
Bring it to the previous section. And then I continue that on. I cut that section in half and I keep working all the way over to behind the ear throughout the back of the head shape. The other thing I want you to notice here is that my line stays pretty consistent. So from that round of the head at the very top, at that mid-crown area, I start cutting a consistent line all the way down, and then it's going to get longer because the head shape starts to curve under. So right at the occipital bone area where the head starts to curve down towards the nape, what happens is that hair is going to get longer and longer, which is what starts to create that mullety effect. Also, I'm doing a point cutting technique. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to create a ton of texture in this cut. I want that movement. I want the softness of it. Harsh lines could be fine, depending on the density. So if they had fine hair, maybe I would go a little bit harder with the lines, because hard lines and fine hair still look like texture. But in thick hair, I need to soften it up a little bit. I don't want it building up too much. So I go in with a point cutting technique. Notice how I'm going around the round of the head as I get to behind the ear. We're going to do some fun things when we get to that temple area. So that's where the haircut will change, but we're going to stay pretty consistent over the next few sections as we get over there. Now I'm just going to continue working, and I'm going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So now, because I cut the back in a vertical pattern, now I'm going to check it horizontally. So I bring everything up and just check the balance. As I work into the sides, you're going to notice that my finger angle is going to shift into more of a concave layer, and I'm going to work all the way across. Now, I don't want to cut all the way to the baseline. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting this section in half. I'm keeping from the temple down disconnected. So I keep that length so you can see it there. And then I elevate everything up, cut a concave layer into it. Now I've got that length, which I'm going to show you guys what we do with it at the end. So I want to cut into the left side. I'm going to do the same exact thing, working that concave layering, working that point cutting. And then as I move over top of the ear, I'm going to disconnect that temple area. So now my elevation is up, cutting concave, basically parallel to the floor. Get that last little bit, and now I've got my disconnection. Now, to take care of that disconnection, I'm going to do some slide cutting to match up the lengths. The reason slide cutting was great here instead of just elevating the hair and cutting it is that this is going to keep some of that density that we lose if we elevate there, and it matches up more for the rest of the haircut. So the front and the back kind of have the same feel. Now, as we work into the top, notice my finger angle. It starts shorter and then gets longer towards the end of my finger, more towards my palm. So I elevate the hair straight up in the air and I cut short to long, creating extra length in the front. That extra length we're going to be cutting into to cut the fringe, but that extra length gives me more density to work with. So if you have a guest with finer hair, you would probably want to add a little extra length to the front of this haircut. If they have super thick hair, you're going to want to take away some of that length. So I would go a little more rounded following the round of the head. So play it off of your guest density. That's what's great about this haircut and really working on a mannequin, is being able to share with you guys those multiple ways to do things. If I have a guest in here, I got to cater to exactly what she needs. For this, we need to talk about versatility, because these haircuts don't fit everyone. If I do it on one person, it might not work on another. So you got to understand the density of the hair that you're working with, the formation of the hair that you're working with, and then you're going to have a lot more success behind the chair. Now I'm going to do a quick dry using my hand. I really want to pull in some of the natural texture. This haircut is all about natural, right? So I don't want to stretch it out with an iron too much. I go in with my Donald Scott carving comb, which is available on freesaloneducation.com if you want to purchase one. They're $39. It's got a 50% cutting side, which is what I go through and cut, because that's going to make it nice and soft. And then I've got a 100% cutting side that I go in and just kind of detail that face frame around the face. Now we're going to go in using the rose gold Joico color intensity, and bam, you can see how that pop of color just really brings this haircut to life. Hope you guys like this video. I hope you like the haircut. It's definitely super kind of rocker vibe to it. It's not for everybody, but the techniques